Hey, it's Dr. Karin. Guilt and shame are both highly destructive emotions that can wreak havoc in people's lives and serve absolutely no purpose at all. If you've been living with guilt and shame, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to remove those negative emotions from your body and your life forever. Let's go. Okay, this is one of my favorite topics to teach on because every one of my clients that comes to me has an issue with guilt from holding on to something always from the past. Holding on to something you wish you should have done or done something different or something better. Maybe you had a breakup or a financial disaster happen and you wish you would have done something better, or you're always judging yourself now and afraid of the future. And all of that becomes a habitual way of thinking and it's not serving you. And the kicker is you're not actually born to feel this way. Has anyone ever told you that? You as a spiritual being in a human body were not meant to hold the vibration of shame and guilt, because the vibration of shame and guilt, did you know they have a vibration? They're actually the lowest point of vibrational consciousness. And when you were born into this world as a baby and became a toddler, think about babies and toddlers. They don't feel ashamed about anything. They unabashedly reach for what they love. They are not afraid to push away what they don't want or a person they don't feel safe around. They consistently live their life based on what they really desire to happen until their parents start putting guilt on them for doing things in a way that they don't approve of. They start being compared to other siblings. They start being compared to other classmates. And this was you growing up. So you learn how to compare yourself. You learn how to self-judge yourself based on external reinforcement or negative reinforcement that you're getting that tells you that the basis of it, that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, maybe you're not lovable. Well, that is not a vibration and energy and emotion that you were actually born to hold. And you know what? That is why it feels so bad. It's the worst emotion you can put in your body, and the reason why it feels so bad is because your body was not meant to hold it as a spiritual light being of light. You were meant to hold joy and peace and love and self-acceptance, which is what you held when you were a baby, when you came into this earth. And it was taught out of you by parents and teachers in society that learned it from their parents, teacher in society. So we right now are going through a collective awakening as a planet. You chose to be here right now in the middle of all of this chaos, and part of the chaos that is happening is the chaos that is happening within each of us. And this habit, this paradigm that we've learned to hold guilt and shame, what it actually leads to is so much suffering. It feels dense, it feels heavy in your body. And that's because your body is trying to reject it. Your body, by that density and that contraction, is trying to tell you that I am not made to hold this vibration. So we're going to teach you how to teach your body to stop holding that vibration. So when we look at the chart of consciousness, which is based on David Hawkins' 30 years of research on studying the body and how certain emotions affect the level of consciousness, the vibration that's emitting from the body, he noticed that what happened with certain emotions is the energetic field around people's bodies would either get bigger or smaller, okay? And so what he did was he applied a number to each one of these main emotions to show what it does to the energy field of the body and what it does to the systems in the body, okay? So certain emotions make you feel really good. That's peace and joy and love and self-acceptance, when you're having fun and you're in appreciation of life. All of those emotions resonate at a really high vibration and they expand you. Now, as you start to feel negative emotions and you start to not accept yourself, you start to be afraid, you start going down the energetic scale. And as you're doing that, your field is shrinking and contracting, and you're starting to release cortisol, the stress hormone in your body, which, by the way, over time causes disease in your body. We want to improve this. We don't want this to make you sick long term. We want your body to start clearing this energy. What happens when you start going down this field and you're looking at the energetic field and you get to guilt and shame, you're actually vibrating down at the level of 30 and 20. So we're going to compare that to the expanded feeling of peace, which is a 600. That's when you're at total acceptance for all that is and you just know everything is right in the world. And when you're feeling joy and love, you're up around a 300, 400, 500. And when you're having a blissful moment of full enlightenment, you're vibrating at like a 600 to 1,000. We want you to start being really intentional about releasing this guilt from your body so you can start vibrating not from a contracted state where you you can't be productive, you can't be joyful, you can't feel anything good when you're sitting in guilt. It literally pulls you down to the bottom of emotional consciousness. We want to start being intentional with you and your emotional body of pulling yourself back up through acceptance and peace and joy and love and appreciation for who you truly are. And that is a beautiful being of light. So where does guilt come from? Well, we have a lot of narratives in our head that produce guilt. And as you're getting better about your state of consciousness, you're raising in consciousness, you're going to be more conscious of your thoughts. So as you're watching this video and carry on with your day, start realizing how much you're really being a producer of guilt in your own mind, because you probably don't even realize that it's been an automatic thought process for you. So one of the main ways that we do it is we do what we call shoulding all over ourselves, okay? Using the word should. I should have done this. I should be doing that. I shouldn't have done that. When you're using the word should or need to, what you're doing is you're causing yourself to go through a state of self-judgment, which immediately drops you into guilt and shame. So whenever you hear yourself saying should, I want you to replace it with the word want and check in with yourself if that thing that you're saying you should be doing is actually something that you want to be doing. That's an immediate shift in consciousness where you relieve yourself from self-judgment and you just do a really simple self-awareness check that keeps you up in a higher vibrational state of consciousness. And by the way, I have an entire video on the process I just walked you through. So if you want a deeper dive into how to replace the word should with the word want, click the link in the description to watch that entire training. So I want you to flow through your day with a really high state of consciousness about what you're thinking about. Now, two things to remember is if you're really thinking about the future in a state of worry, you're worrying about and you're afraid about something that might happen, some catastrophic event or some fear of failure, you're putting yourself again in a really low state of consciousness. So I want you to be really conscious of what you're thinking about, what you're ruminating over, because your mind very naturally goes back to the past when you're feeling guilt and shame over something that you did. So if you're constantly thinking about something that happened in the past, be really aware that what you're very likely doing is feeling guilty about it. If that's the emotion that's coming up for you, you're feeling regret, you're wishing that you could change something or wishing that you hadn't made that investment or broken up with that person or made that one choice, whatever it is that you're finding yourself looking back at, realize that what you're doing is you're dropping yourself down to that low point of consciousness because you're putting shame inside your body. And we want to stop that. And I mean intentionally stopping that. So when you're doing these things like shitting all over yourself or thinking about the past with regret and shame, I literally want you to see a stop sign pop up in your head and say to yourself, stop. You can say it out loud. You can say it in your mind. This is how we interrupt and reprogram your mind cycle that you're so used to doing. Now that you're becoming more conscious, you're going to be able to do this and identify it for yourself, which makes you the leader of your life. And that's what we really want. So I want you to throw up that stop sign, stop. Some people actually use rubber bands to pop themselves physically so they can have a somatic reminder. So if that works for you, you can also put a rubber band on your wrist and pop that when you're starting to have those negative emotions of regret and shame. So throw up that stop sign, and what I want you to replace it with is a deep breath, because likely you release some cortisol and you need to reset your system. Stop and then think, everything is in perfect timing. Everything that's happened has had a reason. Everything that's happened in my life has been for my own growth. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and you can pick any of these mantras. Everything is in divine timing, serving my soul. So replacing that negative self-talk with a new affirmation is so important. And I want that affirmation to sound something like, all is in perfect timing. Everything that has happened exactly the way it was meant to happen. And go into a state of self-acceptance. Now, if you can go into self-acceptance, that raises you way up that scale of consciousness, and it releases your system from being so contracted in guilt and shame, and you are taking leadership over your own emotional countenance. And what you're doing then is you're expanding your field back out, and that feels so much better than sitting in guilt and shame. I'm about to give you some really good techniques on how to stop that flow of guilt and shame through your mind. But before I do, if you like this video and it's really helping you, click that like button below. And if you want to find out when new videos on leading edge content like this comes out, click the subscribe button so you know when all my new videos drop. Back to the training. So part of this new self-talk that we're doing as we are stopping the guilt, interrupting that old thought cycle, is you coming to peace that everything has been in perfect timing. Another affirmation that's going to be really helpful for you as you're evolving as a soul journey, as you see that the universe is always unfolding your life in perfect divine timing, and as you're becoming more conscious of your here and now and taking more of a conscious approach to helping yourself grow and evolve and having a better life. Using the affirmation, there have been no mistakes. will be super important for your soul's journey, because what that does is it dismisses any responsibility that you have, any guilt and shame that you have for something that was perceivably wrong. Because the truth is, precious soul, every single thing that you've been through, every decision that you've made, anything that may have been painful to somebody else, we're all on a soul journey. All of these decisions to be in these dances and these dynamics with other people are here as soul contract engagements that we have, that you chose to have when you came onto this planet as a spiritual being, having a very human experience. So every person that you've interacted with, every business deal you've chosen to invest in, every house you've been in, every single situation that's been big in your life that you've chosen to enter through your own free will, in accompaniment with the soul contracts that you agreed to when you came onto this planet, you experienced something that helped you to evolve. The things that help you to evolve the most are especially those things that were really, really painful. So when you look back, and it may feel like, you had a big breakup and you regret it, or you lost a lot of money, or you didn't take that chance you wish you'd taken, and that's part of your guilt process and all this responsibility that you're piling on yourself and not doing yourself any service. This is stopping now, because you're now ingesting, as you're evolving and going into higher consciousness, everything has happened for a reason. Even if it looks like a big loss to you in this 3D world where money is really important and we really think that the ending of things or losses are detrimental, while they feel detrimental in the moment, they're actually part of your soul's evolutionary journey. And each step of the way, your soul chose to experience that as a way to grow, an opportunity to evolve, to have a higher state of consciousness and understand this journey even better, to deepen your own self-growth and to widen your own spiritual expansion. So as you're looking back and as you're unpacking stuff and you're realizing what you've been feeling so guilty about, and you're starting to realize that you're on a soul journey, and each person has their own soul journey, and you're interacting with them because of soul contracts, and you're looking back and there are a few things that are really stuck inside your spirit, inside your craw, and you have a really hard time making sense of them, start asking in meditation and in prayer for your spirit guides, your angel team, your higher self, to show you what that was here to teach you. Now, I use the word teach because it's not a punishment. Nothing that you've been through has ever been a punishment. There is no God in the sky that is trying to strike you down and have negative experiences and make you have a horrible victimized life. Life is happening through you, not to you. And as you evolve, you'll understand that the mechanics of what's happened in your life has all been in sacred timing. It's all been here as part of your soul's journey, not to punish you, to help you grow. So look at it and just ask. Ask your higher self, what was that here to teach me? What do I know now that I wouldn't have known? Or what emotion do I hold as compassion for the rest of the universe based on that experience that I wouldn't be able to understand had I not gone through that? And you can carry that essence with you, because what happens when you're doing that kind of inquisition on a soul level is you're raising up to a vibration of appreciation, which brings you up to 400, 500 on the vibrational scale. Because when you're in appreciation for that, and you can look at that as a purposeful growth point in your life, you're actually resonating up at love. You're in love with your life. You're in love with the fact that you're here on this tumultuous, crazy ride of a human experience, but you know that you don't have to feel guilty for anything, because there are no mistakes and everything has served a purpose. I hope these tips and this new spiritual information has helped you to release those feelings of guilt from your life and will help you to walk forward into your tomorrow feeling lighter and more powerful. So if this video really resonated with you, and part of what resonated with you is realizing, wow, like I'm evolving, maybe you're waking up to higher consciousness and you want more of that. Well, I have something that I created just for you, and it's totally free. It's a 3-part audio series called The Trifecta of Transformation. And I walk you through the beautiful journey of soul evolution and soul growth. I have all the answers to all of your questions about that beautiful journey. Click the link below and get your free download now.